Well, welcome back there, Blade fans. This old sword's with you once again. And once again, I have a custom knife in front of us. A custom knife by none other than the well-known top-level knife maker and designer, Dirk Pinkerton. Yes, this is Dirk. So what do we have here? We have the Urban Nomad is the name that Dirk is giving the model. It is a small size fixed blade Wharncliffe, definitely a Wharncliffe. Some might call it a sax because of the abrupt nature of the clip of the blade here. I call those clips. If you clip it long, it tends to be more of a clip point Bowie. If it has a belly and you clip it, that could be a Bowie. I mean, let's get down to it. Everybody's kind of snobbish about what you call different blade designs and their history and so forth. And if you want to study that stuff, that is absolutely fantastic because the history of knives is fascinating. Getting back to the topic, this is the Urban Nomad, which we will call a Wharncliffe design by Dirk Pinkerton. And this one is in that new magic steel, yes, CPM-Magnacut. Dirk tells me that these are coming in, his Magnacut's coming in, I believe around 61, 62, but don't hold me to that. I'd have to look back in all of my notes to determine that. He sends the Magnacut out when it's in large batches to have it heat treated. Otherwise, he heat treats all of his own blades, and this very well may be one that he himself heat treated. So he would know a lot about what the Rockwell is on it. It's a light knife. It is convenient. It is one of his favorites. When I picked this out of a bunch of available knives, he was a little reluctant himself, he says, to give it up. It's got, as with many of Dirk's knives, a handle that is just enough to hold on to. All four fingers, no more, no less. It can easily be held in, let me back out a little bit, easily be held in the point down position, although you don't have the edge in for your pical. You have it out, but still it's going to be pretty stabby. And you've got a nice ramp there to be able to cap your thumb over. Not a large knife, as I say, and since it's not an opener, we can't really talk about the action. It's not a folder. Fixed blade knives are easy to get to, convenient, and especially when they're small. I think these are trending. And Bob DeMarco asked me, I think the last time I was on his show, his podcast, what I felt the trends were. And I felt the trends were fixed blade small knives. And indeed, we're seeing a lot more fixed blade small knives come out. And I've heard it from more than one reviewer and maker that they're trending. So there you go. Maybe for once I'm right. This does come with a nice Kydex sheath. None of Dirk's Kydex sheaths come with hardware to mount. That is up to you. He gives you that flexibility. He could very well have slapped a tech lock on there and it would be way too big for this knife, or an ulti-clip, but then maybe somebody gets it with an ulti-clip on it and says, no, I prefer a DCC clip and whatever. So those clips aren't that much money. They're 10 bucks, 15 bucks at the most. And I've got a bunch of them hanging around. So probably this one would be a good candidate for discrete carry concepts. But the fit is quite nice. The fit on most of Dirk's knives is on the handle. So you'll see these long tangs come up from the sheath and they are molded right into the texture of the handle. Holds it quite well. No rattle in this case, and it's not going to drop free. You've got two really nice grommets at the end here, easily carried as a neck knife. When you want it, it's there. Of course, you could carry it appendix carry, you could carry it kidney carry, you could do do horizontal scout carry on the belt, really whatever you wish. But it is an effective knife, and it is quite sharp, and we'll see if we can do a few tests. Maybe we'll do one right now because I've got something handy nearby. This was actually the foam envelope that this knife came in. So you can see there's no effort at all, really no effort to push that point through. And it is very sharp on the edge. This is, I believe it's hollow ground. Let's see. Yeah, these are hollow ground to a very fine edge, and that is a tall grind. So you know that is going to be very fine on that edge. And I don't typically measure those edges, but maybe one day soon I will start doing just that. It's a little touchy to be able to do it, but let's get some measurements on this Urban Nomad. Overall, it is only just shy of 7.5 inches. We're going to call it 7 3/8 inches. And we've got 3.5 inches on the blade, the sharpened edge being 3 1/4. And since we're in inches, we're going to do the handle thickness, which is like really thin, 0.46. And if we jump up to the blade here, we've got a 0.09 blade stock, which in millimeters works out to be 2.3 millimeters. So pretty thin blade stock, but a very tough stainless steel CPM-Magnacut. Now, let's weigh just the blade, the knife itself. Let's see what we get. In ounces, we have all of 3.28, call it 3.3 ounces. 3.3 ounces, and oh, why not weigh it with the sheath, right? Sure. Here we go with the sheath. We've got 4.7 ounces. Now, Dirk is well known for his love of the Wharncliffe blade. So for comparisons today, how about the Main Street by Concept, a very popular knife, been out for a while. Well, this is smaller by almost an inch overall than the Main Street, with a blade still slightly shorter, maybe 1/4 inch shorter. This particular Main Street has carbon fiber. I believe it's kind of a layered carbon fiber, at least it looks it. Concept does a great job with carrying out many of Dirk's designs. Here is another Wharncliffe, which is still sort of in the prototype stage. I think it's coming out real soon if it's not out already. This is by Beyond EDC, and this is called the Warning. This one has an M390 blade. It's unmarked because it is a prototype that I picked up from Dirk. And it is going to be a flipper, but this one locks closed and locks open. So in order to open it, you really need to do that on this particular one. When they come out, it's going to be a flipper, and I understand, looking at some videos from Dirk, it is really great action. And this is based on the old Gerber Paul design. It goes back to the 70s, where your locking mechanism and your pivot are all in one. Titanium handle on this and nice jimping. And we have more of an elongated blade on that as far as the clip goes. So a longer point and pretty much spot on, same size as the Urban Nomad. What else have we got here? Well, we've got this neat little CJRB design by Dirk. And I'm going to have to quickly look up the name of that. And yes, it is the Ruffian. You probably already called that out silently. It's the ruffian. Tell him it's the ruffian. That's the ruffian. And once again, we have that signature Wharncliffe blade. In this case, with many of his folders, it tilts up. So you can see that the point of that blade is in line with the axis of the handle. Something Dirk likes to do a lot. I know he did it on the Gara for Beyond EDC, which is a claw style blade. He raises that up so you have enhanced thrusting capability and you still have that devastating slash capability of the Wharncliffe blade. Let's put that aside. This is out of RPM 9, which is a signature artisan steel. And got a lot of Dirk Pinkerton designs here. Here is the Nomad, made by Kaiser and no longer made. All titanium S35VN blade. That is also a Pinkerton design, although going in the opposite direction. That is a trailing point Persian style blade, and a good deal larger than this diminutive fixed blade Urban Nomad. Here's kind of the reverse of the Urban Nomad. Here's a Pikal knife, the Smilodon, and it's heftier in the handle and there's a little more handle to hang on to here. The blade is about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch longer. No, closer to like just maybe a 1/4 inch longer. Overall, the knife is very close to the same size, slightly longer, but this is meant to be used in the ever popular point down edge in Pikal style from both the Filipino martial arts and the Ed Calderon Libre fighting arts, Ed's Manifesto, etc., etc. Although these knives are going to be a little different than what you see most popular with the Ed's Manifesto people. Them people. So there you have it, a really cool small blade, fixed blade out of a high-end steel, custom ground. You can see those beautiful grinds that Dirk is known for, that beautiful brushed finish in the longitudinal pattern. There is his logo, full tang knife, and didn't talk about the material. It's kind of a green and black variegated G10 on this one. If you order custom from Dirk, you can get whatever handle material you want. This is held on by Torx. Look to be quite large, maybe like a T15 or so, somewhere around there. And they're on both sides, so you would need to remove them with a Torx wrench or Torx bit on both sides, I believe. Haven't tried doing that, no reason to really. This is so nicely fitted. And yeah, it's kind of a green, kind of a camo-ish OD green with black, really nice. And then he cuts these textures in here to give you that swirl, that sort of actually, I don't know what you call it, up and down pattern. Okay, that is the Pinkerton Urban Nomad, the Nomad. It's something you can order from Dirk. I will make sure you have his Instagram page listed in the notes of this review. And if you like this review, don't forget to give it a like. And I hope you've subscribed already. I'll be back soon.